My name is Kenneth Bird. My company is Black Series Edition LLC, Crystal Edge Technology Screens, and our FLEVT company. All right, so I'm in here working on the cardboard PC case, and it's come along quite nicely. I was actually hoping to get one of my elements in here that I needed to finish off the screen, but it didn't come today. I'll have it tomorrow. All right, I need for this. How come that's not really staying there? I should really get some more glue in there. There we go. That didn't look like it, but it just didn't want to stay. I guess I'll turn this upside down so I can get this to press better. A little bit on both sides. So, basically, took my drill here and cut some nice, neat holes in for my wires and cables. I got to jump from A to B all over the place. Of course, some nice proper wire management is what we're going to need for the case once it's all finished and done. So this is the first bottom half right here. So I measured out the size of how my power supply is going to fit in. Of course, half of it's going to protrude up here like this. And this would be for enough room for the 180 millimeter fan, which I'm going to need over here. And then I still have enough room for my hard drive right here that'll fit right there nice and snug. I got 2 ports cut in the back for 2 60 millimeter fans because we really don't need airflow. We got tons of it. It's going to be on a torture rack anyway, so plenty of room. Nice little peekaboo screen right here in the front. Sorry about that. Let me bring the camera down so you can see what I'm talking about here. So we got a nice little peekaboo screen right here in the front. And over here, this will be the power supply, liquid cooling system, hard drive. And right now, I'm putting the legs down here and here and here. I wanted it so I can get access to this part all the time. Because, you know, usually when I design PCs, I have to make it so I can get access to everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually put in magnetic tape, which is actually going to connect there and here, and that's going to allow me to be able to lift up this part easily and connect it into its spot. So right here should fit nice snugly. Should them legs in there correctly. Hold on for a minute. Let me put this down first. First, let me put this down, so because I can't do both at the same time. It'll fit nice and snug like a bug. So we have this right here is for the power supply. It's going to be at the bottom, and the hard drive and liquid cooling system. We have a port here and a port here. 2 ports back there for the fan, and another port here to run all my cables through. And we're going to get port covers so it looks more professional. So let me show you. So here we have where our fans are going to be on this side, and fans are going to be on that side right there. Over top, this is the measurement for our motherboard. Nice little peekaboo window over there for whatever design we're going to do. And there's ports on the side when if I want to run cables and wires through. We also have them here at the bottom. So right there, ports, and for ports there. So this should fit nice and snug, just like so. Make sure we got this just right. So I'm a little bit off on this. Let's see. Should be where the red line is at. That's where I want it, where the red line is at. All right, that's perfect. And this is right where I want this. Where the red line is at. I want this right on top of the red line. Alright, cool. Alright, that's perfect. Make sure that's fitting nicely. And let me see. Where's my markers at? I definitely need a marker, like I need an ink pen. Why do we never have ink pens where I need to have ink pens at? Because I want it to fit right there where the red line hits at. Oh, better yet, we got a Sharpie. Fantastic. So that way I can line it exactly If it moves out of place, I don't know exactly what I want to. I'll show you what I'm doing right now. Because I want the thing to come apart. So to make sure that it's fitting nicely here. So to make sure that it's lined with this. This is actually straight. Let's see. Okay, it's a little bit off. It is a little bit, just a little bit off. Where's the line at? I want it right directly on the line. So when it fits down, it clamps down. I want for these sides here and here to land right where that red line is at, right there. So it fits nice and perfect. Oh man, I'm telling you, I freaking love the whole idea of building a PC case out of cardboard. It is just such an easy way to do it, to build cases. Usually when I'm dealing with plastic cases, there's a lot of cutting involved, and I have to bring those heavy, not heavy tools in, but I have to bring in my whatchamacallit, my rotary tools to cut through plastic. This is really nice. So I'm really liking my build here. So while I'm down here getting this done, a pair of scissors. Here around here somewhere. Never seem to keep track of any of my scissors. Oh. And of course, I'm design all my stickers online, which I usually do. Got my Smash Brothers stickers, so we can design. First, I'm trying to figure out exactly what I just hit all my scissors at. Here we go, they're right here. All right. I'm going to start building the structure underneath. Now, I do this because, again, like I said, if people want to watch, they can watch. If they don't, they don't. I mean, it's up to you. But I need to come in and track down my progress. If I decide to build this again, I have a documentary of it of me already doing it. Just like when I built the setup for the nuclear meltdown, or what do I call it? What's that thing? The nuclear burnout setup. Actually, I did the entire projector. I did it right on YouTube, live stream. So, if you ever want to see how that's done, you can check out the video. Let me see. So, I want us to put more support in there. And if you look at the one I did with the Matrix, that's why the projector is black, because the projector is actually coated in projector screen paint. I don't know which one it is, but it's actually coated in projector screen paint. That's way too wide. So like I said, I'm going to put in a magnetic strip system for the for when I actually connect the case, so it actually locks down quite nicely. some in there. Now my rotary tool basically cuts much more nice little slices on nice little vents. Put a nice little vent system in underneath for here, here, and here, and one for the hard drive here, here, and here. Because I don't want to cut any more holes in this. Tomorrow I'll get the process of basically coating it all black, which is the first thing I'm going to do is coat it all black, and then I'm going to color it and print out all my stickers on how I want them designed. Now all these rough edges, I'm not even worried about that because they have this kind of like rubber kind of like piping that I can put around here to cover this up real nicely, and I got the little tubes that actually fit correctly right in here. I actually bought a couple of those that would fit here and all around there to give you a nice tube kind of like effect for running my wires and cables through. Got my sleeves and everything. One ordered the screws for the motherboard post and the fans and everything else I need to put it all together. Even the liquid cooling system, I picked one up. Got it for a good price too, 80 bucks. Let me see what I want to do next. All right, that's in here nicely. All right, and I want to put another one, that one right there. That one. Let me see what we got here.
Monday.com is a confidence building, morale boosting top.
Now, since this thing has no weight to it, my monitor, I'm going to put magnetic strips on the wall. So, magnetic strips on the walls can just connect that right to the wall anytime I want to use it. That's why I said people that constantly shoot down everything, you really got to learn to crack books. Do you know that there's a whole entire section on YouTube about sleeping on the floor? Go look it up. There are people who basically been doing it for years. Matter of fact, the Japanese have been doing it for years. But look it up. It's pretty interesting on how people have incorporated Asian traditions into their own homes. They even make beds that are designed just strictly for the floor. It's actually better for your back. I sleep on the floor. I still sleep on the floor. It's much better for your back. When I had the memory foam mattress and all that, I felt like my spine was sinking in. That's how it felt. But I love sleeping on the floor. I sleep on the floor of my house. And if you look at it and you say, oh, only poor people sleep, this is where, again, this is where you come off when you make statements like that. You come off like a child. Because, again, there's a whole documentary. There's people who talk about it, the benefits of sleeping on the floor. Even doctors, chiropractors, and all that, the benefits of sleeping on the floor. Don't know much. That's what happens when you're quick to insult and don't crack books. And I like it. I love sleeping on the floor. So I guess in order for me to be to sell and have a good product, it counts on what I live and how much I owe, how much I own. Oh, that just sounds stupid. No. Doesn't go down, it doesn't work that way, sorry. Let me see. That's gonna fit nicely in there. Oh, it's gonna make a nice little bridge in there. I had to go online and figure out my power supply measurements. So exactly what size hole to cut. So when I get ready to put that in, it'll slide right in. And I got these rubber barriers that are going to connect to that. So that looks nice and smooth. But first, I'm going to paint all this in. Man, I'm going to build me some more PCs out of cardboard. Why not? We can design all kinds of cool sculptures. Now I'm going to be coating the whole entire thing in black screen paint because I want to be the projector map off this bad boy. So it'd be cool that if, oh my goodness, I had thought about that. That'd be sick. We can literally put a screen in the background of Smash Brothers fighting on the screen. We can project it in using basically projector mapping applications. Or we can make this whole thing turn like it's on fire. So I'm going to do some with color. I think the main base, we're going to basically just keep this. And then everything else, we're just going to colorize it because I want to be able to project off this altogether. So we're going to do something pretty cool with it. Yeah, we got that projector. We got that new technology. So might as well have some fun with it. All right. So as you can see, this is how it's made. So that way that if I want to get access to this, anytime I want to get access to this, because we don't want to glue this down. If we glue this down, it's going to make it hard for us to get access to this. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in these magnetic strips here, and that's going to allow it to be able to connect. Let's stay where it's supposed to stay. So we're going to have to lift these up just a little bit. Magnetic strips right here and here for it to connect in, and that we have enough of the fans to push through. Let me get something I can put there for right now. It's giving me an idea of exactly. Oh, look at you, Mr. Builder. Over there being curious about what we're doing. Mr. Builder probably knows more than I do. Cats are extremely good at math. I'll give you kind of an idea of what we're working with here, what we're doing. Man, this is so much fun. I love this is why I don't like to buy stuff. I like to build everything myself. If I could build everything myself, I would just build everything myself. I just found it like I'm so excited when I love to do this kind of stuff at the end of the day. But I mean, basically, when I started building computers and stuff, it got to a point where I said, why am I buying cases? I'm tired of buying cases. Why can't I make my own case? So I started making them out of Tupperware. Then I got to a point where I just started using fish tanks. Anything I can get my hands on. And now we got cardboard now. So I got some really cool structures I want to build. Because once you strip apart a PC, and you understand how the whole entire mechanism works and everything, how to keep it cool and how it runs and all, it's pretty much pretty easy. I don't have any blocks. I need to invest in some blocks. Just some regular blocks. I can just have something. So I'll just show you from this end, because I'm just trying to give you an idea, but I just have nothing here to hold it up with. All right, so it's going to lift up about that high up right there, because I need enough room for the fans, the ports for the fans to push through. So it's going to be that high up. But we're going to use magnetic strips. So that way I can disconnect it, bring it up, and get access to all of that. And the motherboard is going to, again, like I said, it's going to sit on the top. This is already cut for the motherboard. These are the motherboard screws. We're going to put the post in. It's going to allow us to lift the motherboard about that much off the ground. That's all we need. And then underneath here, we're going to have a 140 millimeter fan, which is going to push air right underneath the board. Nice little liquid cooling system. And this is why we cut ports here. So you can drop the cooling system tubes from here down to here to the radiator system and fan. And then power supply is going to be right there. So we have ports here. And then we have, where's the port at? We got a port here. Sorry, this is supposed to move over a little bit. There we go. Port there. Port there. Port there. Plenty of ports for moving wires and cables. And then in the back, we have two ports that are going to support two 60 millimeter fans. We don't need it, but why not put it in? because they're going to give us 5 of these fans, so why not? And then right here we have a port there, if I didn't show you, and a port here. So that's to run anything I need to run from A to B, because I have to run power to the motherboard. So I'm going to have to get extenders. So we're going to have to go to get a lot of cables for extenders, more like Y adapters, adapters for SATA cables and all that stuff, and also two SATA cables. Not extenders, but we're just going to need some really long SATA cables to get from A to B down here. We'll put a nice little plastic window behind the back of this. I'm not done with this. I'm actually going to be putting in some, cutting some triangle pieces over and over and over again, because I want to give it kind of like a 3D effect. Because this right here looks boring. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut one triangle piece again and again, over and over again, to give it this kind of like 3D effect standing out, which is the next thing I'm about to do. So this is going to be pretty fun to put together. The inside of it, it's going to be coated with a kind of a neon white fluorescent, and all this is going to be in jet black, and then the rest of this is going to be all in different colors. Oh, and over here, there's my monitor. That's going to be my screen to play my games off of. I'm going to put another application of putty on it, just so we can get the, any cracks or any lines smoothed out nicely. And then once that's done, we apply that tomorrow. So we'll be using the projector mapping applications for this and this, because I definitely want to be able to projector map off of this. And we're definitely going to be changing this to different colors. And that over there, we're going to be using that with the Alpha Cinemax black technology. All right, so let's get to designing my front area right here, because we have to add a lot of triangle pieces in there, so it basically stands out. And I remember my mom used to get me 2 things I used to ask my mother for. Elmer's glue. That's all I wanted, was Elmer's glue, because I used to build so much stuff out of cardboard. That's all I wanted was Elmer's glue. Give me a big container of Elmer's glue, and I can build whatever I want out of cardboard. And that's all I needed. So let me see. I said everyone like to watch people who do all kinds of crazy stuff, like people build these insane houses out of popsicle sticks. Like, wow, crazy stuff. I love people when they build stuff. Just, and I mean just using just everyday things, even stuff you find around the house. You know, the stuff that I used to build the steampunk PC, majority of that stuff was brought from the thrift store. I just bought electronics and just stripped them down and took them apart and just designed them the way I want to design them. And you know, the whole theme behind that whole thing was actually the BioShock. If you look at the back of it, actually, if I show it off in the video, if you look at the back of it, it actually had an art design of the BioShock, which was with the whole city in the sky. It was actually based around that game. So usually when I build PCs, I kind of build them around a theme. Everything has to have a theme. I was watching one channel where they were just taking that, showed you that heavy cardboard when you got to cut with a saw, and they were building furniture with it. They're making their own furniture. You know how much furniture costs at the end of the day? It's extremely expensive. It is. I bought a lot of furniture in my timeline. It is very, very expensive. You know, you gotta sit there and then you go pay that financing fee, and you know that whole 9 yards you gotta go through. You gotta pay it up at a certain time of night. You gotta pay this and pay that. At the end of the day, I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on furniture. Now they're just watch somebody build amazing, beautiful furniture out of cardboard. That costs them next to nothing to put that thing together. I'm like, what the freak? Like them cloud sofas that they want something like $6,000-7,000 for. Man, you could design those yourself. If you're good with tools, yeah. All the cushions, the same thing. Just outlets where you can buy all that stuff up for upholstery, furniture, and all that stuff to make your own sofas and all that stuff like that. And if you're good with electronics, then basically you can install in all kinds of freaking cell phone chargers and everything else you want. I'll tell you one thing COVID should have taught a lot of people is how to be resourceful with your hands to work with something when you have nothing. That's what COVID should have taught you. And a lot of people made a lot of money in COVID because they found that they had hidden talents that they didn't even know even existed, and they capitalized on that and made a business out of it. Never knew. Now, you know, people go buy the Fallout toys and action figures and all that stuff. You know that computer, I mean not computer, that whatchamacallit put together the painted ultra short though. It looks like it's burnt out from a nuclear war. I could take old radios and basically convert them where they've actually aged for years and years and years, even copper the wires and everything, and make it look like basically they've been sitting there for centuries. And somebody taught me how to do that, how to age stuff. Take something modern and age it. There. Always looking to learn something new. Let's see. Alright, so I'm going to take that right here like this. That's what I said. Instead of tearing things down, learn something new. Now, some people get on Facebook and they do some of the dumbest stuff I've ever seen in my life. You ever seen those videos where they're just absolutely pointless? And I actually tell you the truth, the people are pretty smart to make those videos. Like I saw one where someone took their Crocs with their foot in it and stuck it inside of a toilet. And they poured all this stuff, cleaning stuff all around it. And everybody in there sat there and made the most comments about how stupid these people were. When actually they're quite smart, because they got you to come in and watch something that was completely meaningless, and they got millions of views off it and got paid off of it. Yep. And it took a good amount of your time, a couple of minutes of your time. Even I sat there and watched that whole thing, you know, thinking how stupid it was, and didn't realize that they got me to come in there and watch a demonstration video of them sticking their feet in a toilet and covering it with freaking cleanser and dish detergent and everything, for me to go down and comment at the bottom for them to get a whole bunch of views. Smart. Very smart. There we go. Peekaboo window. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I just got on that. So I'm watching the monitor, my monitor over here. The guy said, back in my day, we kept our money in the mattress and the house caught on fire. Well, you know, it's interesting. Back then, people would bury their money. Yeah, they buried their money and stuff like that. And some people would die and you forget where it was at, and then you find somebody basically on the beach with a. Well, I'm pretty sure they probably dug up half of that stuff already, but the earth is filled with treasures. It is. It's definitely filled with treasures. It's when you find it and if you can find it. But it's the earth is for a treasure. Mind you, all the people who lived on this earth way before us, and the valuables that they had, even if they were poor, those valuables are actually worth a lot of money. And just imagine how many people had buried things in the earth and passed on it, and just people couldn't find it. It was just there. They found some sunken ship that on the ocean floor, and there's plenty of those down there. Just got to figure out exactly where they're at. But anyway, yeah, the ship has $1 billion worth of gold on it. $1 billion worth of gold on this ship. You think about these ships that were ransacked by pirates or either wrecked by storm, and they sunk to the bottom of the ocean. They're still down there. No, I wouldn't go down there. That's not my thing at the end of the day. But just imagine that. Wonder who gets claim on that. Honestly, is it like a con, like well, you're out in international waters. That's yours at the end of the day because there's really no laws in international waters. Yep. You want to read some real crazy madness? Look at the Great Gold Rush, California Gold Rush. My goodness. You talk about the greed on so many levels. I think the first people who basically were out there digging for gold were the lucky ones. The first people were making their claims. Then later on, after it caught on fire, then that's where the craziness started to begin. Because you had people out there that were just barely just hunting people down, just tracking them down, just watching them. A person goes into a bar and they talk about how they're going to strike it rich, and they'll go out there and watch them and kill them, take their claim. Actually, I found that kind of fascinating. Not people getting murdered, but I found it fascinating about how people just were obsessed with greed, and people had packed up and sold everything that they had just to go out there and strike it rich. Find out most of that stuff was already dug up and gone. Let me just stay right there. I think I'm not gonna add another one till this actually dries a little better. Right there for that. So that's what I love about history. I love freaking history. Like the man who sold the Brooklyn Bridge sold the Brooklyn Bridge for $50,000. Did you know that? $50,000 he sold the Brooklyn Bridge for, and he sold it to rich people, people that he saw that he knew had money. You know, a person wearing a top hat, a tailcoat like the Monopoly guy. People who had great wealth. And these are the people he scammed into making them believe that he was the owner of this bridge. And they paid $50,000 for this bridge. And he's got multiple people. He got multiple people on this scam. So that's when people say, when you hear people saying dumb things that they can't back up, and they say, well, if you're going to believe that, I might just sell you the Brooklyn Bridge. And literally, someone actually did do it. Yeah, she sold the Brooklyn Bridge quite a few times. $50,000. Now, $50,000 doesn't seem like a lot today, but it was a lot back then. And you know, people did the same thing in the California Gold Rush. They sold came with fake gold. Claimed they got it from a mine, and they were sick and they were dying, and they just wanted to go home, and they were going to sell off their claim. And some of them were pretty much going to buy it and find out it was worth nothing. Yep, all trying to be rich. And people invested in railroads, and railroad was good money. But sad part about it was built on land that wasn't ours. It's not our land. It belongs to somebody else. That land belongs to somebody else. Some people don't want to accept that. They don't want to accept it at all. I actually dated 100% Blackfoot Indian. Yep. Right, look on the right side. They put them out in the middle of nowhere. Put them out in the desert. Called themselves Getting Over. And they turned it in casinos. It's all tax-free. They can't touch it. That's got to burn them up, don't it? Yep, took the land from them. And you gave them next to nothing. And they turned it into gold. And they put casinos out there. And people go out there, the Indian casinos. And they make a lot of money. Good for them. And they can't touch a dime of it. Matter of fact, they're not even supposed to be on that land, period. Everything justifies itself sooner or later. But I thought that sucked. You can't take something that's not yours. But apparently they did. I don't teach you that in school. That's one of the things I noticed, that they don't teach you that in school. If you look at William Penn and Abraham Lincoln and all of them, they were men just like everyday people. They were. But history books make them out to be saints. But they weren't. They were men just like everybody else. They gambled and did this and did that, and just like everybody else. A lot of people look at William Penn, and William Penn is this big, dumpy, round guy. Didn't realize that William Penn used to be a bodybuilder. You read about it. He's a bodybuilder. He liked the weights, and he liked lifting and running and all that stuff. Abraham Lincoln was quite a man that liked to fight. He liked fisticuffs. He liked to fight. They're men. That's what they were. So American history. Which the history that you guys, what people used to get in school, you get the history that they have to pretty it up a little bit. You don't get the real history. I like history. I love it. All right, so I get you guys back over here. There we go. So. Boston Tea Party. I started getting really big into that when I was going through the panic attacks, suffered from panic attacks, and I got into that because it calmed me down, allowed me to relax. There was something soothing about watching those history channels. Right now, right there. So that's what I'm doing one with a cloud system, like those clouds. Yeah, that's what you want to do. You want to add cotton to actually generate static electricity. And electricity added with that, with the neon lights, and add that to a circuit board. Good luck with that one. That's gonna be fun to watch. That won't go well. Let me get back into my anime. I haven't watched any of my anime in so long. I gotta get back into that. Get back to things I used to be. This is what I like about cardboard arts and crafts. I had a friend of mine. She was an amazing artist in wood burning. You know, they did that wood burning on wood to make designs and stuff like that with it. Majority artists are afraid to show off their artwork because they're afraid what other people think. You have to remember, you're going to have people that are going to hate your work and people are going to love your work. Can't make everybody happy. That's virtually impossible. As long as what you do, it makes you happy, you keep on doing it. You don't let anybody take that from you. And so I always get new artists that will sit there and say, well, what about what they think? Who cares what they think? You gotta go out there and own it. That is yours at the end of the day. You're gonna have people that are gonna dislike your work, and there's gonna be people that love it. At the end of the day, you're always gonna deal with that. Don't let that stop you. It makes you happy, right? You love doing what you do, right? All right then. And why did somebody take that away from you? Coming back in here and checking these to make sure it's together nicely as it's starting to set. Now what we're going to do with this is going to be pretty cool is we're going to put some nice little clear behind the back of it, but we're going to put a trace of EL wire right up in there. There we go. This tooth is nice, but I need it to fit a little more jagged there. Listen to some nice copyright-free music. I swear, I laugh about that. This guy who comes out and he talks about how he lives in this. I forgot. It's some place where it's always snowing, but how beautiful it is. And he slips on a piece of ice and he's sliding down this hill head first. I can't say the curse word he says, but it is hilarious. I just saw that today. Somebody sent that to me today. That's funny. Can't say the curse word. The curse word is bad to say. Nicely. I'm gonna go check out. There's an art academy over here. I'm gonna pop over there and check it out. Take up some classes. Learn something new. Another beautiful day with the Lord. Always. Wake up on a beautiful day with God. Only way to live. Wouldn't have it any way else. A lot of stuff going on. Do this one instead. Wow, way too much glue. sink on. I go home, just gonna have me a hot cup of tea. That's it. Not much for anything to eat. Just a hot cup of tea. That's all I want. Maybe a little Earl Grey or some red Zinger. Slice of lemon. The big tooth right there. Now the peekable window we're going to put in here, it's going to be coated with the clear invisible glass technology. So that way, if I want the window to breathe fire, I can do that. Because we're going to project the mapping of this baby on top of that. There we go. Got a nice little jagged teeth in there. I used to love it when I was going to Home Depot covered in paint, dirt, and just about everything else. Which is kind of interesting because when you walk into Home Depot, you're covered in debris and everything else. You carry more respect. Did you know that? You go in there with a suit and tie on and look at you like, oh look, that's a weekend warrior right there. That's a person who doesn't know what he's doing at the end of the day. You probably saw something on TV and thought, I can do this. That's how they look at it. And I went there one time, I was dressed up, I just came out of a meeting, I had to go pick up some stuff to bring back. And we were over at Home Depot, I came in with the tie on. And yeah, if I come in there covered in mud and dirt and everything else, yeah, I look like I basically fit right on in. Let me see. There we go. Get a pot of piece right here. Oh, I like that. I like that right there. It's pretty cool. I like that. That's my picture right next to it. Watch me some arts and crafts tonight. Like so. Too much in there. In the post office today, I was dropping off the packages for the customers, and I go in there often. They ask me what I do, and I'm explaining to them the theory of FLE technology, fusion light energy. Now these people, of course, a few of them in there got projection screen setups, and I'm telling them that we got this technology. It's a black screen. It always gets the attention first. It's black. It's a black projection screen. And the new FLE technology we're developing can absorb 100,000 lux of light. Now, sunlight from a projector. Projector period out in the lights. and a well-lit environment. So, yeah, right, whatever. But a projector a screen that can absorb 100,000 lux of light, sunlight, direct hit, no one believes that. At the end of the day, nobody will believe you. So good thing I have all this stuff on my phone, so they're able to show them. And they know the building. The building's right up the street. They know where that building's at. And like, you gotta be kidding me. You're right over there? I think I was right over there in testing. And the guy was like, that is freaking unbelievable. I had all those people in there looking at my phone. Couldn't believe that a sunlight could penetrate and hit this technology and generate. And I said, what are you gonna do with it? We're gonna call it ad tech. We're going to advertise it through glass and everything. They were in the post office having that conversation. And the guy was like, that would look pretty nice. Can you imagine us having letters going across the glass and all? Yeah, there you go. It sells itself. It sells itself. But you can't just talk about it. You got to back it up. You got to show that it actually does exist. Right now, if I sit there and go there like, yeah, I've got a project. I'm building me a computer, and I'm actually, what computer's already built. I'm basically building me a case out of cardboard, and the screen's mounted in the cardboard too. No one's gonna believe that at the end of the day. Not out there, they won't. That's why we got the videos for everything. Back it up. So we're doing it. Now, the cool thing about this is we're building a nice retro system, and we don't have to buy any monitors, none of that stuff, because there it is right over there. And that shows you that you can take our screen paints and think outside the box, so to speak. Because we are outside the box, people. We are building with the box. We are so outside the box that we're literally building with the box that we're outside of. That's what we're doing. Yeah, some people going, well, why buy? You just buy the case. I bought so many cases, it's not even funny. I wonder how many cases I've purchased. You know, once you start building computers, it doesn't stop at one. It never stops at one. It's like an addiction. Every time you find a new motherboard, a new hard drive, something different out there, you got to build an entire system all over. Even a case can trigger it. I remember I have at least anywhere between 12 and 13 different PCs set up. Machines I weren't even using, just building for the sake of just building them. Because I see a new case, like, wow, look at that case. Oh, I gotta hook this up. And next you know, you got another computer built. And they just sit in the corner collecting dust, so you just sell them or doing something with them. I have all kinds of cases. But then you get to a point where you get past the case. You've taken apart enough of these machines to understand exactly how they operate and how they work. So why am I sitting here buying cases, giving these people money at the end of the day? It'd be fantastic if I can just build my own cases. And then you start on that adventure. Start looking at your monitors and you go, I hate the color of this monitor. Why is it black? Why can't I just change it to any color I want? And you know, you're taking apart your monitor and you're basically changing the color of the case, and you're adding in LED lights and speakers, and you're adding in clear, crystal clear. I remember once I went in and I had a friend of mine who actually molded plastic. Like I bumped and met him at some kind of electronics show, and basically I would always go there to check out all the new PCs and what they had, what was going on, because I had the PC bug. I was hooked to it. And this guy basically did molding for customized cases, and I was like, oh shoot, like any way possible, like you can do a clear monitor case, and hey, did all that stuff. And cool dude, hang around, you meet all kinds of interesting people, because then next thing you know, you're shopping for parts and you're in and out of computer stores, and you bump into a lot of interesting people along the way. You know, that's how I met most of my friends, usually through computers. Some were programmers, some were builders, and some were both. You learn from each other. Now, some people build PCs and they program, and that's the end of it. But for me, it wasn't enough. For me, I have to have a whole entire theme wrapped around it. Got to the point that I couldn't find the props that I needed, so I started building my own props. I go to the freaking thrift store and find all kinds of junk and stuff. I would just convert it into basically designing all different kind of props, run EL wire through it, and freaking flashers and strobes, and learn how to make machines look like they've been there for centuries and all kinds of stuff. So, you know, you miss the fun out of it all. When you basically buy a case, you miss the fun. You miss the entire adventure of it all. Especially you could build something with your hands from scratch. Turn something into nothing. Anybody can do that. Anybody can go get a case and a bunch of parts and snap them all together. The program will be done with it. Anybody can do that. But when I see people designing these insane, crazy PC mods that are like unbelievable, beautiful structures, designs, and everything, like, wow, the man hours they put into that, that's insane. Especially the steampunk PCs, and people go all out on those things. I saw somebody did an Incredible Hulk. It was freaking the sickest torture rack I have ever seen. Literally, the Hulk was holding the power supply in his hand. He had this whole structure and background that he built that was completely demolished and destroyed, of course, the Hulk, of course. And basically, you could see where the motherboard was laying against the wall. It was part of some kind of part of the lab, and just he was just holding the power supply with all the wires hanging out. I thought that was the sickest torture rack piece I've ever seen. But I love the fact that he took the time to build that like that. It's awesome. Everybody wants to be different. That's good. Different is good. I like this. All right. Put a couple more in there. More jagged teeth design. Whew, man. I remember them. I saw somebody submerge a PC under vegetable oil. At first I thought it was water. I was like, what the freak? Like, that is not possible. It just blew my mind to see that. I was like, what's that? Right there, I had to go look at it. Submersible PCs. Dropped the entire PC in vegetable oil, mineral oil, baby oil, whatever it was oil. And man, just to watch that, all those parts, everything running, like nothing shorted out, nothing. And then the guy stuck his hand in, he get electrocuted. I was like, what the freak? I gotta do this. I gotta do this. Went down to the thrift store. Of course, got myself a Hyperthread, cheap PC. Get them for like around $25. Some don't come with the hard drives, but that didn't mean a difference because I had hard drives and parts all over the place, because you know I would just buy PCs and go buy them by the pallets and strip them down and get the parts that I wanted out of them. And I had extra hard drives laying around. Even had an open PC that I can actually go in and slap my hard drives in if I want to format my my disk and all that stuff. So nice little setup in there for all that. And yeah, I went in there and bought that thing and put it inside of a Tupperware container and started pouring vegetable oil on top of it. I'm like, gee whiz, I am going to die. And nothing happened. Basically, I actually had the power supply on when I was doing it. My buddy was sitting there laughing like, yep, can you die? Can I have all your stuff? And I was like, sure. You know, if I get electrocuted and die, you get everything. That was the most exciting experience because I didn't know what was going to happen, you know. I didn't know that maybe I could have been doing something wrong or incorrect. I don't know. You know, but it worked. It ran. I sat there and watched that thing. I went and shot a video, went down to my buddy. It worked. They saw me walking by the store with like these containers of vegetable oil. Like, you're going to do it. Like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I have to do it. I have to find out this actually works. I said, if I don't make it back tomorrow, man, you know what happened. I got electrocuted. Man, I was pouring that stuff. My hands were shaking. I was like, I am going to definitely get murdered. It's just going to be the one that does it. And it ran perfectly. Stuck my, that's the scary, the second part was sticking my hand in there. That was the scary part because I wanted to go touch the power supply, see if I would get electrocuted. And I was like, well, it's all for science to see what happens. Man, I put my hand in there and I get electrocuted. I'm like, okay, let's go grab the power supply. And I grabbed the power supply and nothing happened. I was like, oh, shoot. Like, this really does work. Carries electrical current under vegetable oil. That's the most crazy thing ever. And it doesn't short out or nothing at all, period. Now, things you do learn in the process is that fact that that the fans don't run for jack at all, period. So I don't know why people bother putting the fans in there, because what's going to happen is with the fans, it's just going to basically get coagulated with oil and it's going to slow down and it's going to stop eventually. And you're just going to have the lights going off, neon lights going off on the fans, and that's it. They'll run. You can run these LED lights, whatever you want down there. It'll run perfectly. So that'll run. But other than that, but you'll notice that your CPU fan will stop running. Now, is your CPU going to burn out? No, it's not going to burn out. But it's going to generate a ton of heat in that vegetable oil, and that heat's going to generate through, and it's going to cook your system. You literally will cook your system. So that's why you put the liquid cooling system. You put the liquid cooling system, you're not going to damage it, right on top of your CPU, and you keep your radiator system or reservoir, however you are going to do it, you keep that outside your tank. And that will keep your CPU nice and cool while it's submerged under that vegetable oil. Now, if you want to make sure you want to have an extra insurance to make sure it's going to stay nice and cool, then what you do is you connect your fans up to a fan speed controller. So that way you can basically push your RPMs. Add more power to the fan, keep your system nice and cool. If I get a chance, I'll show you one of the demonstrations where I got it down to 17 Celsius in the vegetable cool PC setup using a touch control fan speed. Or fan speed controller, fan speed, RPM, or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, yeah, it worked. But it was an experience I will never forget. And the oil was not cheap. Buddy, I called him up. We were laughing about that too. He said, "Yeah, remember the time you made that vegetable oil cool PC?" I said, "Yeah." Remember that? I said, "Yeah, it cost me like almost like 50, 60 bucks to fill that thing up." That thing was like an endless tank. Just trying to get that thing to fill up. I was so scared that day. I already thought I was gonna die. Another crazy experience. When I got my i7, when it first came out, I was so terrified of basically causing any form of static electricity that was going to actually kill the CPU before I even got it in the board. So, sorry I got to say this, people, but I built that thing together. I put that thing together butt naked. Yes, I did. A lot of you not. Terrified. Because I'm thinking, like, man, I actually shorted the board out like that one time. I literally just came in and I went to grab my hoodie and took it off, and I went to go open up the PC, and I touched it and I seen a little spark pop off and the system wouldn't cut on. I shorted out the board. So it freaked me out ever since that happened. I was like, nope, I'm going to build this thing butt naked. And that's what I did. I put that PC together butt naked. Now they got these little things that you can actually attach to your arm, and you basically can attach it to a piece of metal you can ground yourself. But yeah, I was terrified. I paid a lot of money for that freaking i7 when it first came out. All right, guy of mine, I gotta contact him. He's another brainiac with computers and stuff. He worked in this one place. It had a machine in it that pulled all the static charge out of the environment. It has servers in there. I thought that was insane. He worked in this place, man, that had one of those old-fashioned computers with a giant, massive reel-to-reel. I was like, oh, please get me one of those suckers. I wanted that thing so bad, but they weren't selling it. That thing would have been so cool. I'd have put a couple of PCs in there. I'd have used the giant case, of course. Would have put a nice little motor in there to keep the reels running so it looks more realistic. And I'd have ran a couple of servers in there. And we're building something basic today. We're not building anything hardcore. Let me get ready to start getting ready for GTA 6. we'll bring out the big boy toys. Got the 5090s. That's what I'm going to be using. And of course, all my people, they got, no one has, oh, actually one's getting a computer. One's going to get a computer, but the rest of them are all console. So it's time to break out the crown. Sorry, people. It's PC Master Race time. It's funny because when I talk about that, people think all PC players are all. No. Even in that category, there is certain type of PC. You have the elitists. They're the ones who consider themselves to be. Well, actually, all of them are PC Master Race. But then you have categories of which ones are basically considered to be part of the elitists. Those are the ones that have the insane PCs. Like, you paid how much for what? Literally? It's a car payment. Yeah. That's those. When I had my 2011 server board, I was one of those. And people are saying, oh yeah, you got what? Even it's interesting because even though it's funny, because with consoles usually will have console against, PS4, PlayStation against Nintendo and all that. It's console wars between you guys. And the PC realm is a little different. Basically, we basically go after all consoles. Doesn't make a difference what you are. It's just basically PC is considered to be king. But within that realm, there's also other conflicts that go on between the elitists and the everyday Joe. Because the elitists are sitting there with this good gracious, insane piece of equipment that he knows darn well he's not going to be able to use all that equipment to begin with. It's just all for talk. Just to pop the hood to tell you what you got. But you're not going to use all that. And they kind of beat down on the other PC players. Like, that's really what you got? That's all you got? Really? That's what you're running? Wow, that's dinky, man. I mean, gee whiz, I had one of those when I was like 13. Like, you're running that at the end of the day? We do that to each other, literally. Yeah, we do. Yes, we do. And it's funny because, you know what? Your console gamers do it to each other, too. And then you got your console gamers who mod your systems out. And you got systems that look like nobody else's systems, like that system that I designed under the Xbox 360, one that ran under vegetable oil, and the second one was actually taken out, dismantled, put back together, and integrated into a UFO case. Yeah, I actually even had a liquid cooling system running off that baby too. And when I had the cameras on the Xbox 360, I would take a picture of my system and send it over and say, this is what my 360 looks like. And everybody's like, oh shoot, what the freak is that? Yeah, it's a modded system. Man, I tell you something. Those were the freaking good old days, man. The Xbox 360 era was the good old freaking days, man. They modded the living daylights out of that freaking console. And I'll tell you something. It was their fault at the end of the day. Because if they didn't make it to the point where it was going to burn out and you were dealing with a constant red ring all the time. And the reason why people said, why would you keep buying them? Because the Xbox community online was massive, especially in the 360 era when Xbox 360 was massive. I mean, you could always pop in a room. Somebody always had a microphone. You could walk in the rooms and they had into mid-conversation. It was just so much going on. It was so much activity on the 360. I don't know what it is now on the other systems because I don't blame on them. I guess game on the PS4. But yeah, it was constant chatter going on. You could always have a conversation. Freaking 3 o'clock in the morning, people are chatting. 6 o'clock in the morning. You jump into certain servers, they're all from overseas. Because guess what? That's when people be logging their time. It was always constant chatter going on in those babies, man. So, man, it was a fantastic time to be online, to tell you the truth. But honestly, when I talk about console, honestly, now on the PS4, don't really hear anybody. And my friend got the PS5. I've been on that system a couple of times, and I really don't see a lot of people on there playing that all period chattering back and forth. Hardly anybody uses mics anymore. Or anytime you got people use mics, like they all know each other, and that's basically about it. But other than that, man, yeah. So basically, that system was modded beyond belief because, again, you know, when you got kicked off of Xbox Live, or basically if your system went down, it was like you were losing an entire family because you knew a lot of people on there. So you had to get back on. That's why I kept rebuying the systems, because I had an entire Xbox family on there that I constantly played with. It wasn't Halo, it was Gears of War. It wasn't Gears of War, it was something else I was gaming in. So You know, man, that system, when people got tired of the Red Ring fiasco, because then they came out with the arcade and the core, and then they had the limited editions with the Gears of War, which was all red, that came with the 1 terabyte hard drive space on it. And then they came out with the Halo edition, and then they had the black version, which was supposed to be like the Elite, supposed to come with some new frost chip to keep from burning out, but it burnt out. All of them burnt out. Every single one of them burnt out. Some people never had red rings. A lot of people did have red rings. Some people got to the point where they just got tired of it, and there were just these tons of tutorials all over YouTube showing you how to open up the systems and how to fix them. And that's what people were doing. Because then they would send you the coffin. You ever got the coffin before? I did. I got the coffin multiple times. So you report it to Microsoft, and Microsoft would send you a box, what they call the coffin. And you stick your box in there, and you send it off, and you wouldn't see it for 2 weeks, maybe a little longer. And when you finally got it back, you would get like a month free of Xbox Live. That's what they would give you for a conversation of losing your box. But guess what? It'd burn out again. So then you get sick and tired of it, and you start learning how to pop these bad boys open. And if you had any field working with computers, ooh, it was a freaking cakewalk once you got into one of those bad boys, because pretty much it was just an outdated IBM motherboard. And you were like, that's it? This is what we're working with? Oh my goodness. After that, it just blew through the roof. You'd see gamer tags changing at will in the middle of rooms. I've jumped up to so many modded lobbies, it wasn't even funny. Especially Left 4 Dead had a ton of modded lobbies. Going there, it was all tanks. Going there, it was raining witches. It was raining gnomes. And one guy was in there, he was cool as I don't know what. He allowed everybody to get that special achievement, which you had to beat the game on the hardest level. He made it so you automatically warped automatically in the safe room. Didn't have to fight anything. Another guy won it and modded out all the weapons. First time I ever got a chance to kill a tank with a Gatling gun. It was freaking insane. Anything you could possibly think of. They were just modding the daylights out of it. Yeah. And then that's where they had to cut down on it, because people were just doing crazy stuff like they were basically boosting their points to get more points, because some rumor went around that, if you got a certain amount of points, you could cash it in for like points to buy stuff, which wasn't really true at all, period. But anyway, that's another thing too that would taught you the lessons of digital content from the door, on how much money you would spend on digital content and see nothing of it later on in time. Like the scary part about downloading all your games. That's going to be real scary. It's scary for me because I download because I'm on my PC. But if you consider the fact that I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on avatar clothes. You remember that era with the avatar clothes? Remember all the stuff you could buy for your avatar? Headsets, glasses, little dogs, little cars, props in the back. I had all kinds of stuff. And then you could go in there and buy all kinds of digital media. There was movies, there were freaking games. You could buy some games, little games, but mostly music and movies. So you had all that packed on your list. And then you had the whole Netflix thing where people can come in and watch movies on your channel. All that crazy stuff that went on. Then you had the freaking chat rooms and all that stuff. So, you bought tons of digital content, tons of clothes for your avatar. And then to turn around, every time a game came out, they had clothes for the game that were from the avatar. You were like, what? Gears of War had freaking stuff that you could buy to dress up for your avatar. And then when the new system came out, you couldn't swap over anything from the avatars at all, period. They just stayed on the system. So you paid all that money for nothing. You couldn't swap over the movies, and you couldn't swap over the music because that's all licensed. You couldn't take that over at all, period. Because that'd considered to be pirating. So they couldn't do that either. Couldn't slap it into a flash drive and transfer it over. But they had some pretty cool tricks you could do. When they put up the option to be able to use a flash drive like a memory card, there was a little trick. A lot of people didn't realize that if you basically went into the hard drive and you downloaded your profile to the flash drive, and then right when the system started up and you see the little symbol go on the screen, if you pulled your flash drive out, you would come up with an empty avatar, no name whatsoever, and no one could ever track your account. And you can basically go online and play. Yeah, blank avatars. I remember that too. I started a couple accounts, blank avatars. Yep, I love freaking the Xbox 360. Freaking loved it. My game was Gears of War. Mostly my main game was Halo. I was playing Halo since the first big box system came out. The one that looked like a giant microwave that had a freaking controller that looked like a giant gauntlet. Yep. Remember the first time I went to go pick one up, Xbox One, the original Xbox, not the one they call Xbox One, I mean the original actual Xbox One. The one that had the 10 gig hard drive on it. I remember going to a store to go pick it up, and that thing was heavy. It was like carrying a microwave home. And the first game I got for it was Halo. That's my first game. I was a little frustrated by it because I wasn't used to that controller where you actually steer with one and drive with another. And it drove me crazy to try to drive the Warhog. But I got used to it, and once I got used to it, I learned how to drift and all that cool stuff with it. But it did drive me nuts at first because I was coming off a Dreamcast. Ah, next to that, the best game, Dreamcast. If you have never had a Dreamcast, you have completely missed out. You really have. I played Dreamcast online quite a few times. Unreal Tournament is actually one of my favorite games to play on Dreamcast. Freaking love that game. Of course, no voice communications. You had to get the keyboard and mouse and find some place to hide and talk trash to the other person. Type as fast as you can and it come out without somebody finding you and murking you. Then it was Quake. Oh my goodness, I love Quake. More damage. Ace. So love freaking Quake. I was a big fan of Doom. When Doom came out on the Atari Jaguar system, then I stopped playing Doom because I realized it was from hell, and that when I was running through the doorways, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I wanted to go back up, and I looked up and found that there were upside down crosses. We don't do that. So no, I gave up Doom. But Quake, I freaking love Quake. Quake at 56K. Oh, Blue Stinger. That was another amazing game. Blue Stinger, Power Stone. That was another one. I freaking love Power Stone. Welcome to Power Stone. Oh my goodness, man. I remember I had the Japanese system. I had the orange box and had the white freaking Spyro. And then I bought the American version, which was actually the white box and the red Spyro. Remember that? Or whatever you call that thing was. But anyway, yeah, I remember that. And I remember one of the games I bought it was in Japanese was Blue Stinger, which I had no idea how I finished that game because it was all in Japanese. And I finished Power Stone. That was a good game. Oh, and Soul Calibur. Oh my goodness, Soul Calibur was amazing. I remember when the PlayStation 1 came out. Toshinden. Jumping Jack Flash. Yes, sirree. Yes, sirree. I got a chance, man. I was blessed, man, to be able to be in an era where I got a chance to witness a lot of these games, man. A lot of these games. I was blessed to be able to witness a lot of games. TurboGrafx 16 with Bonk's Adventure. I remember I had the CD-ROM drive and I had the one with the without the drive. Came with the little tiny cartridges, were like little credit cards you would slide in. Oh man, I remember when GTA was only the PlayStation only. It was never for Xbox. Never coming to Xbox. They made that. We're not coming. Rockstar was not coming to Xbox. It was made for PlayStation exclusively only. And then they finally brought it out to the Xbox One system. I still got mine. I still got my the dual disc. It had one with the GTA 3 and Vice City on either side. The Dead or Alive series. If you played the game Ninja Gaiden, good gracious, that was a freaking hard freaking game. That game drove a lot of people to drink. That was a really freaking hard game to play. It was a hard game to play. You would hear people in the background just screaming about it. That was a hard game to play. I forgot the Xbox system was online too. Man, that was a good game right there. That was a really good game. Yeah, and then you had the Dead or Alive Volleyball. Everybody had that one. Everybody had Dead or Alive Volleyball. Everyone. They tried to hide it like they didn't have it. We saw it. You go and listen to the game. Like, see, you got Dead or Alive Volleyball. Hey, it was a good game. It was a really, really good game. I still got mine. Like all my games, I still got them. Man, that was amazing, man. That I kind of forgot about all those good games, man. that was a good time to be around. I still like the physical disc. I favor the physical disc over digital. There's nothing will ever beat going to the store and popping that box and reading the back. I remember reading the back of the box before we get home, so I would know everything. Read through the manual, so I would know all the controls and everything before I would get in. That excitement of coming in and putting the game in and watching the intro come up. I miss all that. It don't feel like it's the same anymore. Maybe it's because I got older, but it just don't feel the same anymore. I remember when I got a 3DO system. They were like the top tiers, the 3DO, the Neo Geos. What was the Panasonic CD-ROM had one, but the 3DO Glitz with the Glitz, the guy kept talking with some kind of gecko or wherever he was, and then they had a couple games. I can't think of the rest of them they had on there, but anyway, I remember getting off from work, and I remember rushing to the store, rushing down. I had to catch the sub, and I got there just in time to walk to the door to pick mine up because I put money down on top of it. I got a 3DO Gold. I still got it too. I still got it in storage, my 3DO Gold. And I remember getting that. I remember getting Glitz Adventure, or Glatz, or the GAX, or whatever they named it. Anyway, and I remember getting all the way home, opening up the box, and then realized the power supply wasn't in there. And man, I never got dressed so fast in my entire life. I made it there just before he was about to close the door, and he gave me the power supply. And the power supply pretty much wasn't nothing special when you think about it now. It's the same kind of power supply you found on the back of my speakers that I use for my centers. Or the PlayStation takes the same power cord as the PlayStation. But I remember getting that. And I remember big disappointment, the Game Boy 3D. That was a waste of money. On so many levels, it wasn't even funny. Because when you saw the commercials were all in color. All the commercials were in color. When you got the Game Boy, Virtual Boy, that's what it was, the Virtual Boy. And then you get home and you plug that thing in, it was all in infrared, black and red. Oh, that was so freaking disappointing, man. That was so disappointing. I think I'm going to get this real crazy virtual reality. Like, everybody wanted that virtual reality. Everybody wanted that virtual reality. And at the time, only PCs could have that, possess that power. And PCs at that time were insanely expensive. But I remember seeing the commercials were virtual, all the colors and everything. Wow, I can't wait to get this. I get down and get that baby, get it home, plug it up, and it's all in freaking black and red, infrared. For a split second, you know what the Terminator feels like when he reads people. It was that freaking bad. It was horrible. I took my money back for it. I took my money back, and I got myself a GameCube with Donkey Kong Country with the bongos. I still got my system too. I still got those too. Still got my bongos. Man, I'm telling you. Those were the good days, man. Especially if you had an NES, boy, you had that track and field with the mat you could put down and your brothers and sisters would run on it. You would cheat, push them over. Man, you had so much cool stuff back then. The duck hunt was freaking endless, man. We played duck hunt all night long. Oh, your dad would freaking lose it, man, if you walked in front of that screen when he was trying to kill those freaking ducks, man. Oh, we had so much fun, man. It was just, man, games were just so much better, man. They were just so much better. I'd rather go back. I wish I could go back to the original cartridge before we had all this technology now. I would rather go back to the old school stuff any day, any day, any day. And then those of you who grew up in the arcade, you had the arcade, which was freaking amazing. Arcade was amazing. Those of you, the young generation who never got a chance to experience the arcade, oh man, I feel sorry for you. It was absolutely amazing. If you bring out an arcade now, it doesn't have that same feel. It doesn't have that same feel of being in there like in the 80s, you know, walking into an arcade and hearing the games being called out, because they would actually turn down the ones that weren't popular anymore, but then you could still hear them. But the other ones they would make louder, the ones they would make money with were like Virtual Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. What was the other game they had? The one they had, I can't think of the game. Man, Killer Instinct. Yeah, it was another one. Because all you hear in the back, like, multi-combo, supreme combo. In the back, like, what the frick, where's that coming from? All the cockpit games, pole position, all of those, man, the racing games. Man, even you had people coming to play the pinballs, people coming in and play Miss Pac-Man, or even the old games back in the day. It was got a bit of everybody in there. It was just fantastic. It was like one big nightclub. That's what it was. And you had the old heads in the back. Sometimes you had young people back there playing a little pool. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. But then you had the people that basically, the Street Fighters. The people that did Street Fighters, literally, they would come in with the outfits and the hats and everything. everything, even Bounty, the whole 9 yards, everything. There's this one guy, there's a white guy in there. He played He was really freaking good. He's really, really freaking good. He used to beat everybody get on that machine. Man, that was fun. That was really fun. Yep, go to the arcade. Go home, and you had game systems at home. We were blessed. My mother always kept us with a console system. Always kept us with a console system. First console system I ever had was Pong. Told you that a long time ago. And Tandy Corporation, before Radio Shack was called Radio Shack, it's called Tandy Corporation. My mom brought home a Pong system for us. Never forget that, man. She hooked it up to channel 3 or 2, or one of them in the back with that UHF or whatever it is, and then hooked it up with the cable. And I remember when we hit the channel, it came up all black, and then you see the little ball and the paddle. Oh man, I spent all night long playing. I thought that was the best it was ever going to get. And it was fun. Then we had ColecoVision, Atari 2600. Atari 5600. We even had an Atom. We had the Vectrex system. The Vectrex system is pretty cool. It's a tabletop system. That's when the tabletops started coming up big, like the Miss Pac-Man and all them, Centipede, with the roller controller, all that good stuff. And then you had, like, from the tabletops, you had something called Vectrex, which was beautiful. It was a console system that came in black and white, but you could make it color by picking these little film, like little pieces of film, whatever. You would slap them up in the screen, and it would change it to color. Yep. Yes, sirree. That's my area. Odyssey. Yes, Odyssey was a game I actually had too also. That's way back there. That's in the 70s. Brother had an Odyssey. Yep. Where did I put this at? Odyssey. Where did I put this at? I always like it when Atari 2600 would have these amazing graphics on the games. The games were nothing like the graphics you would find at all, period. It would never look nothing like it. Like E.T. looked nothing like it. But they had these amazing art illustrations right there on the box and on the cartridge. But the game looked nothing like it. But still, it was actually fun because, again, man, if you had cable, and you had an Atari system, and you had a Beta system, you was the kid on the block to be at. That was the place to be at. I like it when I watch the young generation complain about how expensive things are. Man, you didn't pay nothing. You didn't pay anything for video games, honestly, to tell you the truth. I mean, you're paying, what, $70 for a game? You have the N64s used to cost when things came out. Some of the things could range almost like $100. They were cartridges. Cartridges were extremely expensive. But the N64s were very expensive. And you could easily get a brand new game for N64 for something like $70, $80, which was a cartridge. And if you had the Neo Geo, whew, man, then you were paying anywhere between $300 to $400 per cartridge. Because they were very expensive. I remember the first time I saw a Neo Geo, I saw one at Kitty City. And they wanted $1,000 for it. That's what they wanted for it. $1,000 for it. And I'm thinking, that's got to be a typo. There's no system it's going to cost that kind of money. But guess what? Neo Geos did. Because they were way beyond the 16-bit systems. Way beyond. Bum, bum, bum. just to give you an idea of what a Neo Geo today would cost you, and I lie to you not, if you're able to get your hands on the whole collection, that's what it'll run you for. They're not cheap. Those games were somewhere between $300 to $400 a pop. When as the system started to go under, they started running somewhere between like $150, $160, but still expensive. And then for you people, you young whippersnappers, they want to talk about your expensive cell phone bills. Your cell phone bills aren't expensive. They're actually extremely cheap. If you came out in the era of the brick phone, you would pay $4 a minute for incoming and outgoing calls, which means if somebody called you, you're going to pay for it. And if you call somebody else, you're going to pay for it. And you had none of the special apps, none of that stuff whatsoever. You had call waiting and three-way calling, but that would cost you some money. It's expensive. How long did it take I think this phone took about 8 hours. It's only something crazy. I had 8 hours to charge. It cost you the same amount the phones would cost you now. They're about $1,000. The brick was $1,000, and no. Yeah, the brick was $1,000, and the bag was about $500. Now today you get one of them, people think you're calling an airstrike. All right, I like that on both sides. I like that. Get this up here. I like that. I think I'm gonna continue that right there. We got a port on that side. So I'm gonna leave it that way because we got a port on that side over there. Now, I first started off, like I said, I was going to do submersible veggie one, but I've done them before, and I wanted to do something different. So I want to do something completely out of cardboard, and then that way I can make my monitor all out of cardboard. And we're going to put our magnetic strips here, so that way we can lift it up. Connect our magnetic strips right there, so that way it'll lock right in place. So that'd be fantastic. I might put a nice little block system at the bottom, just in case. Just in case. And these right here are the discs that were cut out. Every time I had to punch a hole through one of these little areas over there, I guess over here, you can't see it or not. Right there. I'm going to use these as little platforms for each one of my little characters. So I went and ordered the whole Smash Brothers action figures, and I'm going to be using these right here to design their platforms. So these all together. Quite a mess underneath me. So we ready to paint this thing yet? And I've got my holes already. Oh shoot, sorry about that. I think I'm knocking you guys over for real. I got my holes already pre-cut in for my fans, so that's all ready to go. Got the power supply measurement, so that's how big the power supply is going to fit in. Nice little peekaboo window here. Gonna put some kind of design around this. I haven't figured out what I'm gonna put around it, but something pretty cool. And there we got our little ports and power supply. Hard drive's gonna be over there. And this right here, once we get it to where it's going to sit correctly with the magnetic strips, we'll have airflow pushing back and put fans on each side of those. 140 right there for airflow under the motherboard. And the motherboard, it's going to be sitting on its hard post. It's going to lift it about that high up. So it's going to look pretty cool when we get done. And we're going to reinforce the areas around here, so that way when the motherboard drops on top of it, and we put the liquid cooling on, everything should fit quite nicely. And the motherboard will allow me to be able to unscrew it and basically put it back in. We're not going to be using, I'm going to reinforce so the posts have a little bit more of a sturdy structure with a couple of layers of cardboard here, and here. But also too, I'm going to be putting in liquid cement so they stay in I don't want my posts moving at all, period, and that way I can re-screw them in and out without having any problems about them basically moving or shifting because we're using Elmer's. And, oh, check this out. So I got EL wire. This is EL wire right here. If you've never seen it before, it's actually around my mouse pad right there. That's what we're going to be lining through all of this. So I get ready to start making my own glow-in-the-dark paint because I want other sparks to glow. All right, so I'm gonna get all this mess cleaned up. I think somebody did build a Monster House PC. I think somebody did build one of those. We'll just do everything in here because I have to come back to all this either way. So we'll coat all this in black. All this is going to be coated in black. And then we're going to trace each one of these in here and some nice trace of white. And then all this will be basically lit up in between with EL wire. Put a nice little screen behind the back of it. That's going to be a little peekaboo window because there's really nothing going to be in here. We're going to put props inside of there to make something look pretty cool in there. And then that way, if I basically want to project a map, I can project a map. Matter of fact, this and this is going to be all colored and our new technology, and all this is going to be different colors because I'm going to be able to project a map this at will. That way we can put a nice little display of a fight scene here or where we want to put it at. I'm going to get the rest of my stickers and basically design them with my art software over there, and then I can print out and make my own stickers like I did with the blah 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 with the RetroPie. All those stickers are made. Yeah, keep in mind when I was putting together, and thank you for the support, for the views on those videos. I do appreciate it. But yeah, when I was putting together that machine and all its setups, yeah, we had naysayers in there talking trash. Talking about, oh yeah, that's going to be trash. It's going to run anything. Oh yeah, look at it now. Probably going to think this is like trash too. Wait till you see when we get done with this. It's going to be insane. And we already got the system. It's already here. It's right over there. We're going to actually strip down this whole entire computer. Right there. It's already programmed. I had to fix it. I put in my Steam account's already set up. I'm downloading all my games right now, and I had to put that thing, actually add a hard drive to it, put a better graphic card onto it, and I had to reprogram it. So it's finished and done. And on top of that, I had to go through the nightmare of getting around the freaking keys, because again, that was another headache right there, because I forgot the pass keys to get in and the pin, and I had to get around that, which I learned something new. I had to get around my keys. So, yep. How to boot the systems, because most people just go in and just format it and just start all over again. But no, there's a way you can actually go in and just boot the original operating system. That's what I did without using any form of keys that I needed. Because usually I have to hate that when you get someone's operating system and you don't have those freaking keys to get in, the registration keys to get in. And you got a certain amount of time before they shut you down. But now you can go in there and you can activate your keys and everything without basically adding in any form of software whatsoever. I forgot we had to go to that. Systems motherboard option, or I forgot the name they got for it. But anyway, yeah, got to go in there. Press your F. Is it F12? I think it is F12 to get you access to that. Everybody's is different. Mine was F12 to get in there. So they usually boot from the ROM. You have to switch it over where you boot from the drive instead. I miss working with the Dells. I love the Dells so much. The Dells are so easy to manipulate. toggle and drag it up. Drag it up! Oh, a long day today. Nationwide is on your side. Look at that. Fits perfectly right there. This is where I'm gonna have it at. I got a nice little stand. It's gonna sit on top of it, keep it nice and cool. And we got these rubber barriers, bumpers we're gonna put around here, so it looks real nice once we get everything coated in black. We got our radiator system here, plenty of ports, and I also got the port tubes that you slide in. They're about that short. If they're a little wider, then I can just take my saw and I can just cut them a little shorter because I just need the cap, which looks real nice for that and that. When it sits over top of it. Yeah. Freaking love it. And we got a screen over there which is going to have magnetic strips, so I can just connect it to the wall and I click right to the wall. So my screen's done. Well, actually no, I want to do a little bit more putty work on it. I got my cracks pretty good, as you can see, filled up real nicely. But this is going to be our screen right here to game on. Cardboard PC setup with screen. I wish I could make the keyboard out of cardboard, but no such luck. Can you buy a cardboard keyboard? No, I'm kind of thinking about that. I feel like you're obsessed with cardboard. Yes, I am obsessed with cardboard. There's a guy on Craig in the Creek. I forgot his name, but he's basically, he builds all this crazy stuff with cardboard. He's obsessed with cardboard. Let me see. Cardboard keyboard. What the freak? Really? That can't be real. Oh my goodness, that is freaking real. I freaking love this world. I tell you, I love people like this. I love it. People that are willing to just do everything insane. This can't be real, but this is actually real. Look at that. I mean, the keys aren't cardboard, but the base is cardboard. I've seen the wooden keyboards. Them suckers are not cheap. They're very expensive to get a wooden keyboard. Because I wanted to do a PC all out made out of wood. And the keyboard is like freaking like $400 or $500. Wow. That's pretty cool though. Oh well. Thinking outside the box again. Smash Bros stickers. I got the Smash Bros stickers right there, but we don't want those. I'm making my own. But they do get the stickers are $7. But I want to make my own. I want mine a different design to match my case. I don't want a bunch of goofy stickers. I want something different. I make my own. So what we're going to do is just go down and just get the, because we're not selling them. As long as we're not selling them, we can't get in trouble. So take their artwork, take it over to my system, color it up a little bit, and then basically design the way I want to and put what I want to put down there, but some kind of description like Rumble, round 1, round 2, whatever, and then basically print it out. Make my own. Let's see if we got. So what we're going to do is the theme for this fighting theme is going to be like a power station. That's what they're going to be fighting on, a power station. So again, once we install in all the fans, and they're all going to glow in the dark, of course, all the cables and wires are everything's going to be coated with a form of glow in the dark. And inside of it's going to be blasted in white, all glow in the dark materials, like I did with that whole PC sunk under the ocean thing. And we're going to put in black lighting and all that stuff. It's going to be pretty cool. And a lot of colors and stuff on it. But we're going to make the liquid cooling system to look like a power station. So we're going to have a lot of these wires coming off of it, like the EL wire, like that. We need that right there to come off of it, and it's going to be attached to each fan. It's not going to power the fans, so to give it the illusion that it's powering the fans. It's like they're fighting on a power station. I want some flashing strobe lights, slow flashes in the back, with just electrical shortages going off on the whole unit. So we need to pick up a few things. So I need to see if they have EL wire pulsating. Should have put down the other way around. I said that backwards. Literally just said that literally backwards. Pulsating EL lead wire. I guarantee you're not going to have it here. I'm probably going to have to go to Cool PC to get that. It's not, it's lead. ED, lead wire, and it's EL. Not, why do you separate that? Gee whiz, really? Seriously? No, we didn't ask for all that. I swear, I hate phones with freaking spelling checkers on them, because they just try to say, this is how it's supposed to be spelled. No, we're not spelling it that way. EL wire, EL wire, EL wire, lead, and gee, I swear. Lead. There we go. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. This is what we need. This is the EL wire. Don't you mean? I love when Google does that. When you're writing something like, don't you mean? No, I don't mean that. Oh, look at that right there. That's going to look sick. Sorry, I got Google over my hands. That's going to look sick right there. Oh, man. Because we're going to look like a power station going haywire. That's what we're going to do. That's going to be the theme. A power station's going haywire. You know what I mean? Like it's coming to life. It's got the crunchy teeth in the front. Look how awesome. Can't wait. Sorry, people. That's my excitement going off. I can see it in my head. Already, I can see it vision in my head. It's always going to be so exciting. Look at all the EL wire. I'm going to be up looking at this all night. Oh, we're going to trace this stuff everywhere. Everywhere. Hey, I can't think of the battery packs. I can't stand the battery packs because they always die. I need something that runs off some serious juice. Can we run it through the power supply? Oh, they got the flat tape. Yo, why are you freaking kidding me? I feel like the guy on freaking what's the guy on freaking I would say is it Jerusalem board? It is Jerusalem board talking about we got to get the launch pad keys. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh my goodness. We're gonna light this thing up. We're gonna light this thing up. We're gonna go in on this. We're gonna go in. Oh, they got the power. That's what I'm talking about. This runs off a cigarette lighter, but yeah, we can use this. I can actually convert that little wiring and soldering and all that good stuff. We can convert that. Yes, my goodness. I'm gonna go off on this. And they're $7. We can wire this thing up. They're cheap. They're so cheap. Yeah. We're going to need some circuit boards. We're definitely going to need some circuit boards. Some damaged circuit boards. Definitely. Definitely. Sorry, people, if I'm killing your time here. I'm just... Yeah, we're gonna have a ball. We're gonna have some fun with this. So we're gonna get some liquid cement because that's the only one to make sure they're secured in. And we're gonna actually put them all in here, all up in here, and make this all like comes to life and everything. We're gonna trace it all around here. That's gonna be tracing around here, here, and here. And we're going to run these pulsating cables. So I figured I'm just gonna get 3 of the cables and intertwine them together, so each of them have a different light firing off of them, and just have these bulky cables connecting from here, connecting from there, and there, and there. And we have to turn the power supply into a power station. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna turn it into a power station. So that's why we're going to have these little flashing strobes in the back. This little pulsating flash to make it look like something's damaged back there. We have a ball with this. The next one we have to build, volcano. Why not? That'd be cool to build a volcano. Volcano PC. Oh, and here we go. So we're going to incorporate our screen paints into building PCs. Hey, wait, we're doing that anyway. We're building those customized desks. That's what we're going to be doing. Yeah. Okay, let me see. All right, people, I want to let you go. I got a ton of research to do. And I got to go. Hope you enjoy. Thank you all for your time, and God bless. Button. There we go. Oh.